Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Corey, better known as the Seaman, and I want to welcome you to another edition of the Seaman's Cinema Sitdown. It's week 2, and yes, just based on light, I missed the 3 a.m. wake-up call. My body ain't working yet at those hours. And while technically it's light out, there's no sun. It's just gray. And, well, maybe it looks like it's gonna rain, although maybe down there. I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna ignore the weather. I'm gonna ignore the fact that it's like 6:30. I'm gonna focus on what should be a really strong start for my day, because last week, whoo, that was a good one. What are we talking about? Why don't you pull up a chair? Take a seat. We are getting ready to take a watch and dive in, spoiler-filled, into Secret Invasion Episode 2, Promises. And yeah, I really dug Episode 1. Tonally, just how they set this story up, how they're adapting this story, the fact that we're getting a Nick Fury-led story finally, like all those things were clicking. The only thing I really had an issue with was taking Maria Hill off the board, because as excited as I was for Nick Fury, I was equally excited for Maria Hill. She's a character that, like Nick, has kind of always been to the side, but she didn't even get like as much screen time as Fury gets in Captain Marvel, right? Like, he has a pretty legit role in that one. Maria's never gotten that opportunity. I was really excited to see Colby Smulders sink her teeth into Maria Hill a bit more than she's gotten the opportunity to. And she was, or certainly felt like she was, and then off the board comes Maria Hill. And from that perspective, I think it sucks to see her get fridged. And it sucks for Smulders to not get to dive in, because while I think, a lot of people will associate her with How I Met Your Mother, Maria Hill's been here almost since day one, right? Like, Smulders has been here for forever, and to not really get an opportunity in a show that certainly seemed like it was going to set up an opportunity for kind of sucks. However, from a narrative perspective, it works. And I don't think it's one of those, like, I don't want the switcheroo, right? Like, the camera cut right before we see, like, Colby take a breath or something like that. While it would effect-wise be the same for Fury, I don't... When you've already done the we didn't actually kill Everett Ross. It was a Skrull. She's never got... She wouldn't be a Skrull in this situation specifically, because it's not Nick Fury accidentally killing someone he thinks is a Skrull. It's the other way around. Like, I don't think Gravik is just going to kill one of his own and get away. Like, he didn't need that kind of a distraction. And like I said, it really sets the bar for the stakes of this show kind of high, and I'd hate to see it rob itself of that by bringing it back. Now, down the road, could you, maybe have a bit of a, if you've watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Project Tahiti situation with Hill? Would Fury do that again? I don't think we see that happening, but if you wanted to do it after the show, I guess so. Maybe in the multiverse somewhere we can get, Smulders back, but that's the fun thing in comic books, like, no one ever really dies. They all come back. It's very much like my mother's soap operas in that way. But I think for this show, they should stick with it. Now, the only other thing really to cover, I think, from last week that we wouldn't have would be the opening credits sequence, which in the moment I thought was phenomenal. It set such an eerie tone. The score behind it was perfect. The way the animation moved, and just it encapsulated everything that this show should be. But to learn that AI art was involved, and the studio claims that it's an AI tool and no one was losing their jobs, artists are using it, but it's whatever, true or false, take it, leave it. Especially in the middle of a writer's strike with an actor's strike impending, and one of the main things that is kind of lynched there is the use of AI for all sorts of reasons. And just AI in general scares the shit out of me. Like, it's crazy to me that we have been warning the human race about machines taking over for years, and everybody just seems to ignore it. Like, I get ripped on sometimes for saying, like, I learned things from the movies, but the more and more we go into the future, the more and more things I have learned from movies seem to start applying. I mean, the McDonald's just opened up like a completely human-free store. That's terrifying to me. And the concept of AI and how it can learn and adapt. I don't know. I know I did that one TikTok trend where it like was just turning people into like crazy things depending on what they were holding or whatever. And mine, I just laughed at it, so I was like, I have to post it because it turned me into a chia pet. But in general, like I don't know. There's at least in the art world, I don't like. It's a dangerous line to walk, and it's unfortunate because it definitely taints that open. Because I really did think it was perfection in the moment, but I don't know, man. That's just places I don't think we should see film and television going into, especially when you have everything that's kind of going on in Hollywood right now that's going on, and AI is one of the focal points of that. So nevertheless, that was certainly disappointing to learn, and I don't think it was unjust backlash that the show received, because it's a place where Marvel's already like overworking and underpaying their visual effect artists, and it seems like Disney does that in general with the animators. So I don't know, man. I just don't think it's a place that we should go play. But nevertheless, we're gonna put that over with the weather and the late wake up, and we are going to turn our attention to episode 2 because I'm really pumped, man. At the end of the day, this show I think is really kicking for me. The first episode was just, like I said, fantastic, and I think Kyle Bradstreet, our creator here, he's got a pretty good handle on this world, and like I said, the adaptation. Like if you're not doing a across the universe story with the Skrull and stealing heroes, utilizing the swap as they are from a political standpoint to make the world just war with itself is really a genius concept. And again, like the Martin Freeman Everett Ross opening was pitch perfect. So nevertheless, I'm gonna shut up. As always, I'm talking too much. We're gonna dive in to episode 2. We should get that up so you guys can see it because I've got it on the television. No more time wasting for the Seaman. Let's dive in. Secret Invasion, episode 2, Promises. And my TV is extra slow today. There it is. 1995. Oh, we're going back to Captain Marvel?
Been riding the desk for the past 6 years, trying to figure out where our future enemies are coming from.
Obviously, I figured this one, I saw the title, but Promises would be addressing this.
Shapeshifters. We can't trust anyone, not even our own men. Now I stand before you as my true self. My people lived as refugees, homeless.
Talos.
But this is another thing I love. I love the fact that the show is addressing, like, people made promises and then they fell off those promises, like it's good to see the accountability aspect right away at the beginning of the show. That's a nice little refresh from Nick's story from Captain Marvel. Now let's dive in. So we're still staying back in time, 2 years later, 1997. Brixton, London. I don't know what that voice was, but yes, this is where the Skrull are kind of chilling. Whew!
Vara, welcome.
Thank you, Fury.
Young Nick.
This is Gravik.
Oh, wow.
Gravik.
Interesting.
His parents were killed in the last stand against the Kree. He escaped from behind enemy lines.
I think that's something that I think.
He is smart, Fury. Knows how to survive. We could use someone like him.
He's a child.
Only to human eyes. Just talk to him.
The de-aging stuff's nuts, man.
Sorry to hear about your parents.
They died a brilliant death.
I'm sure they did. This work here, it's very dangerous.
I'm not afraid.
I can see you're not.
Very interesting. Be somebody that Fury trained.
All of us have lost someone, or everyone, in our entire Species is scattered across the galaxy. But for those of you who braved the journey here, you did so for one reason. This man.
Almost ever since I've been Talos.
He looks. This is
I
crazy.
believe that humans and Skrulls can help each other. This is the promise. While you work keep my home safe, Carol Danvers and I will find you a new who'll be first to take the pledge. You have a courageous mother, Gaia.
Stuff. Guy and Gravik would have known each other all this time as well. It's a fascinating way to look at like refugees, you know, through the eyes of the Skrull in here. So again, I love when the MCU tackles real life issues, and you definitely get that feel real strong here.
Keep your word, I'll keep mine.
20 years later, though, and that's one of the things I hope that the Marvels will dive more into when we get there, and that's the Skrull-Kree War. We're in the middle of the chaos, yeah. Why do we have to kill Maria? Now I'm not gonna lie, if all of a sudden she woke up, I'd be like, yay! It's a tough one. What? Why is he getting grabbed?
I'm an American. I'm an American. I'm an American.
Who is this guy? Just throwing Fury around. So one of Olivia Colman's people? I don't remember him. Feels like the same bands. Oh, it's Talos. Ah, man, that's... I do love the fact that this show, it doesn't matter who you think anybody is, nobody is who you think they are. Yeah, man, it's a... Again, I love how they are, like, holding Fury and Danvers responsible, you know? You make that kind of a promise. 20 years is a long time, and it'll be interesting to see if the episode flashes back at all anymore. Usually I like when a flashback is just at the top and then you know, move forward. But the idea of Fury training Gravik, and Gravik and Gaia knowing each other from the time that they were kids, it feels... narratively, I want to see more of that development too. Watching the credits now, I'm sitting here going like, how did I not piece together or even think that AI might have been involved in here? Because now, like, looking at it, I'm like, oh yeah, you know, you can kind of get that flavor. But you can also see some of the animation aspects of it. So like, oh man. It's a tricky road to traverse, and I don't know if we should. Now it's like weird we gotta watch this every week. It really is gorgeous, though. Man, just the amount, like, it makes you just wonder how many Skrull. Ali Salim. I believe he has all 6 episodes. Which is another thing I love. I love when you have one director for an entire series. Russia. I guess that's where we were, right?
Мы ищем одного человека. Чернокожий американец. Видели у кого-нибудь похожего?
You seen anyone fit in this description?
Чернокожий американец. В поезде Москва-Варшава. Здесь больше шансов встретить инопланетян.
Прям чемодан.
Please tell me that's Talos.
They've gone.
They just keep making Fury look cooler and cooler, and I just love Ben Mendelsohn so much. And good on that female performer, because she was really giving you vibes of Talos.
Well, me and my mama used to take these long train rides to Detroit.
No train travel back then wasn't nowhere near this up.
Coming out of Alabama, we always had to ride in the color car. It was hot, sweaty. Bathroom didn't work half the time.
And we couldn't go in the dining car.
So we brought fried chicken, white bread, deviled egg, pound cake, and a shoebox. Half hour after the train pulled out, that chicken be gone. On these long rides, me and my mother would make up games.
I like the reflection.
One time she said, "Tell me something I don't know about you and Susie." Me and Susie had a standing game of doctor. Been playing behind old man Jackson's barn. Suffice it to say, I wasn't about to tell her about that. So I made up something crazy. Me and Susie saw a bullfrog with polka dots. My mama just smiled, even though I'd lied through my teeth. The mere fact that I did that told her everything she needed to know about me and Susie.
I love the dialogue.
Tell me something I don't know about the destruction of Skrulls.
Oh, alright, maybe we're gonna get into everything here.
Name of the game,
Just tell me something I don't know.
I don't know.
We were overpowered by the Kree. We held them off for as long as we could. When we couldn't hold them off any longer, the million of us that were left, we fled.
Tell me something I don't know about the Skrulls that fled.
They're here.
Wait. You're telling me there's a million Skrulls walking amongst us right now? Have you lost your reptilian?
And every Skrull that isn't in Emperor George's colony, that's...
You lied to me!
We were being hunted across the universe. I had two choices. I could let my people be annihilated, or summon them here to Earth. What would you have done?
This ain't about me.
Oh, right, but you find using us as your spies and your errand boys, as long as it's on your terms.
The host gets to set the terms of the visitation.
What happens when the host disappears? Huh? Because you were gone.
Yeah.
And I didn't think you were coming back. I really didn't. And you know what? Even when you did come back, there was no talking to you about anything real. Your boots barely hit Earth. And oh, it's too heavy here, man. I gotta go up to my space station. You've been up there for years.
You knew how to get in touch with me, Talos, and you didn't because you didn't want me to know.
Fury.
Skrulls and humans can coexist here on Earth.
Humans can't coexist with each other, Talos. We've been at war with each other since we could walk upright. There is not enough room or tolerance on this planet for another species.
Overpopulation? Marvel just getting into it.
Matter of fact, neither is this train compartment. I think this is your stop.
Wow. Dude, I think Talos might turn. Like, I feel like you can see Gaia also being ready to flip, right? Like, just the look on Amelia Clark's face in the open.
Oh my god.
But, like that really, one of my friends said something about, like, I think Talos might turn. I was like, what? I can see, I think you might see Talos and Gaia flip-flop. Hell. But, I mean, what a beautifully written piece of dialogue, right, between those two. I mean, you can understand both sides of that argument. You can see where both are wrong. It's Fury there. Yeah.
Were you there?
Yeah,
How did it happen?
happened quickly.
Don't you be one of those bastards who gives me a platitude when I'm looking for the truth. That one, over there. You know what he told me? He told me that my nation owes me a debt of gratitude, but he won't even tell me where on planet Earth my daughter was killed. So apparently facts are not included in the debt I'm owed.
She died in Moscow.
We were there trying to stop the attack.
Someone set a trap.
For her?
Oh, for me.
Someone wanted to hurt me, so they hurt her.
Just like the absolute definition of fridging.
So you're the reason I'm taking my daughter back home in a box.
I'm sorry I couldn't protect her, Elizabeth.
You're Nick Fury. Maria believed in you. She would have followed you to the gates of hell and back. Look, I don't know what Maria died for out there. But whatever it was, don't let it be for nothing.
Ah, that was very powerful.
Several bombs exploded today at an annual celebration in Moscow, killing at least 2,000 civilians.
One suspect is currently in custody, identified as a leading member of the online fringe group.
Kept yelling, I'm American, I'm American.
While the NATO Secretary General says NATO is acting swiftly to gather intel on the bombing.
Despite the outpouring of condemnation, all signs point towards imminent retaliation from Russia.
Oh boy.
They're all saying we had something to do with Moscow. Well, I call bull on that. There's no way that Moscow attack was committed by Americans.
Capturing the right look of that news station.
How did you know Fury would be there?
I didn't, but I hoped. I wanted to see how much of him was left.
And?
Nothing.
It's just vapors. Old. You know, I could have killed him if I wanted to. You don't punish a man by giving him what he wants. You just get me to the council meeting. I want to see their faces while Moscow's still burning.
That's like the scariest villain. Just so laid back, nonchalant, knows like exactly what and why he does everything that he does. Clark seems so unsure.
You wait.
Yeah, that's not happening. Grab it.
I'm not out in an hour. Shoot him in the head.
I don't think she's gonna be happy about that one either.
Members of the council.
Ha.
Seems someone didn't get the suggested attire memo.
Shocking everybody that was on the TV is in this room.
I trust I speak for the group when I say we are all happy to have you with us. Please, sit.
Seem very reluctant to sit.
The purpose of tonight is to determine what punishment, if any, should be meted out on the individual who has imperiled us all. You murdered over 2,000 innocent humans, children, and yet you don't seem remotely remorseful.
What the hell gives you the right to disobey this council?
What gives me the right?
Fury promised all of us. We
We
were there. We all heard it. You keep your word, I'll keep mine. That never happened. No, Fury abandoned us. The humans cast us aside. I promise you, Earth will be our home. Because I will take it. I really dig the Skrull language, and I love how Gravik
I think it's a war.
uses that to deliver that piece of conversation.
And what happens if the Avengers return?
You don't think I thought about that? Put your faith in me, promise. Your loyalty will be repaid. Well, Madam Prime Minister?
We need to streamline our chain of command. Democracy is fine for peacetime, but whilst at war, we need a single commander whose war power is total and unchecked.
My God.
Just gonna... Yep, Gravik. Wow.
Post of Skrull General.
You were in on this with him the entire time. Who do you think you're talking to? I'm the commander of NATO. I can mobilize 1 million troops at the snap of a...
Oh!
Shall I remove him, madame?
Oh, I don't think he'll be any more trouble. All those in favour of Gravik as our new general will submit.
Game on. Oh, it's about to get messy.
I fear each one of you has forgotten our history. We did not end up homeless refugees because we were unwilling to wage war. We ended up homeless refugees because we were too willing. I do not support your coup. I will not support your war.
You're probably gonna die. I love that, though.
If I had another 100 like you, I could take on the universe. You go in peace, sister. You'll not be harmed.
Interesting. Wonder if any of them are like, well, maybe we shouldn't have submitted. That's the thing, right? Like, Gravik's not trying to kill his own people, but he knows what needs to be done. Everybody else is a Skrull. She's calling Talos.
It's Gravik. The council just voted him general. He has control of our people and our future.
Set up a meet between me and Gravik. Just tell him I want to talk about my daughter.
That's the other thing, right? Like, he said Gravik's responsible for his wife's death. So would... Also, you notice how, like, I feel like every time a Skrull says Talos, they say it the way I've always said it, like, when I read it, Talos. But when Fury says it's Talos, I feel like that's what's happening. I don't know what to do now. I'm gonna go with Talos. He's in such a fascinating place, you know?
Thank you, sir.
Without you, this wouldn't be possible.
Gravik, Gravik. Yeah, she definitely is starting to not trust him, I feel like. Or she's at least very observant. Yeah, man, I feel like Talos is in this, like, weird middle gray area where, like, I don't think he's quite with Fury, but he's not gonna full flip over to... I don't know, man. Like, every bit of dialogue and conversations, though, that have happened have all been stellar. So I'm here for that Talos Gravik meeting. What is this guy up to?
You don't have it.
Harvest wasn't there.
It's back to scavenging. Our DNA selection remains extremely limited.
What are they? Oh, are they building Super Skrull?
Gravik has given me multiple locations for the harvest, all of them empty. Our fearless leader.
Perhaps in Turkey.
Do you need anything else, Dr. Dalton?
Yes, your absence.
I wonder if that's what's going on here. What is that? What is that?
Rumors of American involvement in the Moscow attacks. The 27 EU heads of state plus the British
Lots of spy things going on, man.
at this emergency security summit here in London.
Rhodey.
Colonel, are you denying that two of your citizens, Mr. Nicholas Fury and Miss Maria Hill, were present in Moscow at the scene of the attacks?
We are aware of allegations. Mr. Fury and Ms. Hill may have traveled to Moscow, which, if true, at any rate, would have been in their capacity as private citizens.
Do these photos suffice as confirmation of that fact?
Respectfully, Prime Minister, I can't take the authenticity of Russian-supplied photos at face value.
How do you explain Mr. Fury's presence in Moscow?
Alleged presence, madam. Slovakia rolls its eyes at me one more time, I'm gonna put on the suit and carpet bomb it.
Love Rhodes.
President Ritson has a pretty busy day job running the most powerful country and military on the face of the planet. He doesn't just hop to when summoned. Now, while we are sensitive to your concerns, until such time as you can present an actual shred of evidence to back those concerns up, I'm afraid sensitivity is all you're going to be getting from us.
Get him, Rhodey. I love getting to see what Rhodes does on a day-to-day, right? Like, he wants to put the suit on, but he's not always
Nice
the superhero.
Brioni.
Pretty expensive for a government salary.
Yeah, well, my other suit's made of titanium, so this actually constitutes considerable saving.
We need to meet.
Tell you what, let me just finish mopping up this globe-sized bucket of steaming hot caca you tipped over yesterday. We can get a drink. That sound good?
You sound frustrated. Croatia talking crap?
Slovakia.
Well, carpet bomb there.
Do me a favor and try not to pop off a nuclear holocaust before you get there.
Ah, man. I friggin' love Don Cheadle. I've heard this conversation is also phenomenal, so I'm very excited. I don't know if these two guys have ever been, like, on screen opposite each other in this kind of a way before, but very much looking forward.
Should I be worried about poison?
You should be worried about spending the rest of your days in the Siberian retirement community. Yeah, don't let the relaxed ambiance fool you. I'm this close to handing your ass over to the Russians.
Forgetting your rank here, Colonel Rhodes?
You do not want to be playing mine is bigger than yours with job titles. Trust me, I'm the last friend you got.
Yeah.
Are the Russians really trying to pin this on me?
Your face is all over CCTV footage.
I was there trying to stop the attack.
Oh, well, excellent job at that, by the way. 2,000 dead so far. Number will probably triple once they clear all the rubble. Meaning you not only set the stage for World War III, but you simultaneously flipped all of our allies to Team Russia.
How well do you know your security detail?
I saw you threw up the drink.
I know they're catching bullets first if I get shot at. What do you mean, how much do I know about them?
What if I told you they were all spies?
Spies for who, the Russians?
Non-state actors, global reach, borderless operations.
Hydra?
Yeah, if Hydra was a bunch of green.
Skrull.
So how long have you known about them?
About 15 years ago, I was part of an eyes-only top-secret presentation. It's about a shape-shifting alien species that sent a few of its light ships crashing down to Earth. Pentagon was concerned that they might get into their heads to invade us one day from the inside.
That invasion?
It's happening. Yeah.
That's not possible.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, but it's true. And here's the crazy part. We're being invaded, and we can't even tell who the invaders are. Moscow was just the beginning.
So terrifying.
We should call our friends.
No. We can't jump the gun on that. You know, we get them in a fight with the Skrulls, and next thing you know, they find themselves duplicated and turned into...
Cheers. Wow.
I can't do it.
Ain't no can't in our business. There's only what you can do and what you will not do.
You're right. I should have said, I'm not doing it. I just spent all the political capital I had in getting Maria Hill's body back from the Russians.
Are you really talking to me about politics right now?
I'm here as an envoy of the United States government, Fury. The job is political.
I remember when your job was protecting the planet.
We protect the planet by protecting our seat at the table.
Are you forgetting who helped you get your seat at the table?
Oh, so I owe you now? Is that it?
We owe each other. Men who look like us don't get promoted because of who our daddies know. Every ounce of power we wrestle from the vice grip of the mediocre Alexander Pierces who run this world was earned in blood. So let's make the power mean something. Help a brother out.
These men are gonna escort you outside, then you're going to the airport.
Have you even listened to a word that I've said?
Yeah, the world is on the line. The enemy is 1,000,000 times more dangerous than Hydra, but they can only be vanquished by you. And you want me to make the power mean something by helping a brother out. But you should know better than most. The reason we wrestled this power from mediocre men who don't look like us was not simply to turn around and hand it to mediocre men who do. The point of this power is to be uncompromising, to be unsparing, to be able to sit across from a man we greatly admire, with whom we share an entire professional, personal, ancestral history with, and to tell him without any reservation that he's fired. That's what this moment right here, right now is about, Nick.
Wow.
Is it you to fire me?
I volunteer, and not to put too fine a point on this, but that mess that you created in Moscow that resulted in getting one of our best people murdered, you earned all this smoke, brother.
Wow. Wow.
Move. Are you seriously under the impression that just because you stripped me of my time...
Please turn this dude into a Skrull.
Careful, Fury. You wonder why you're out.
I'm Nick Fury. Even when I'm out,
I'm still in.
I'm in.
Yeah. Dude, that was powerhouse. Woo! Oh man. Like, where you go now? No support. Like he said, you can't call the big guns in. Then the Skrull kidnap them, swap them out, which is what the comics was. Like, that door was locked.
Yes, and now that the door is unlocked, what does that tell you about me and doors?
Who are you?
I'm above your pay grade. Where is he?
I'm above your pay grade. Dude, I also love Olivia Colman. Like, she was so good in episode 1. I'm ready for a little bit more. This cat, man. It's just like performance and like, oh man, dude, like the writing in the show is so good. This is on that like Loki level where it's like, I don't need, oh good lord, this one won't talk.
Didn't your mother ever warn you could lose an eye by beating your meat like that?
What are you doing here?
Oh, I'm taking over.
Да, алло. Да, конечно.
Of course, sir.
Я понял. Немедленно.
Immediately, sir. Goodbye, sir.
I've thrown everything at him and he hasn't said a word. What makes you think you can get him to speak?
Oh, I can be quite persuasive. Oh, before I forget, where is the escape hatch in this dump?
Why do you need to know that?
Oh, just a hunch. Oh, wonderful. Okay. Make yourself scarce.
She's so good.
Alone at last. Now, shall we do this the easy way or the other way?
I'm gonna break these chains, and then I'm gonna break every bone in your body.
The other way it is.
Oh man, I love her. Wasting no time. Give me that finger scroll.
Well, now that's confirmed. Let's party.
Yo. Oh, I am such a fan of hers. Just the delight in her when she's doing it. Uh-oh. Groot, Frost Beast, Cull Obsidian, Extremis.
Checking the progress of our newest recruit. He'll be ready for a face before long.
You know, I remember when you first came to me, Gaia. Daughter of a failed general. I thought to myself, what kind of coward sends his daughter to do what he wouldn't? But you know, then I realized that kind of coward just doesn't have it in him.
Tension, man.
Our man on the inside located Brogan. Let's go then.
You're wasting your time. I'll never talk to him.
Well, that's very brave. But everyone talks when their blood starts to cook at 100. To buy a chemical imperative. The smart ones start talking earlier than that. You a smart one?
Oh my.
No, I didn't think so.
Go ahead. Put it in my arm. I don't care.
You're gonna care. Oh, in the ass. Well, that's less fun. Is this like Extremis related? That feels like a little Extremis-y, right? From Iron Man 3. Maybe perfected. Yeah, it looks not fun.
Tell me the location of Gravik's compound.
I swear. I know nothing, please.
I'm afraid, sorry dear heart, I can't. I need to know where Gravik is and where he'll be.
I don't know, I swear. Gravik keeps everything a secret.
And what secrets doesn't he keep?
Building a machine.
What kind of machine?
Yeah, well...
I think it's to make us stronger.
Super Skrull.
You wait in the car. Keep the engine running.
Where are they now? Oh, they're going to get him.
Who's helping you?
You keep just sidelining Gaia.
Some married couple.
What's their name?
I can't, please. Gravik will kill me.
I'm gonna kill you.
I'm terribly sorry, but if I don't get a name, Gravik won't get...
Dalton! The name's Dalton.
She needs to know the escape hatch because she knows...
You see, that wasn't so terribly difficult, was it?
She's gonna drop out the escape hatch right now. Screw this. Go get me a sausage. Pop, pop, pop. He's gonna come back and it's gonna be probably the black kid. They're just gonna take them all out. No need to shapeshift. You're gonna get in there. He's gonna...
Sounds like we're lifting you.
Time to go. She's so good.
Listen, I'm just gonna go and check round back.
Oh no.
No, you stay here. They might come up with Brady.
I think she might be...
You're a smart lady, Gaia.
I think maybe she's talking to Olivia Colman. Woo! Yo, okay. Yo! Dude. Alright, now we've made him physically terrifying as well.
How very Dostoevsky.
Just so nonchalant. Dude, this show is fire. Talking to somebody in Russian? Whoa. That guy broke the chains pretty easy.
I got him. Let's go.
I told you Gravik's gonna kill him.
What'd you tell him?
Nothing, just lies.
Nothing, just lies.
That's all, I swear.
Which lies? She probably know which lies you think you told her.
Take him to the car.
I don't think he believes him.
Keep driving.
How did they find our safe house?
I feel like nobody trusts anybody. You shouldn't trust anybody in a spy show.
Pull over.
I think he's gonna kill this dude. Saved you, but you lied. Yeah, you're gonna kill him.
Did we make it home, Pete? Almost there, bro.
Take you out into the woods here and then put you down like a rabid dog. Appears that those two have some kind of friendship, which gives another layer of the evil of Gravik. It just shows you how deep his hooks are. There's always the scariest villain, man. When those hooks are all the way in and anybody will do anything for you, don't want to play around with that. I just feel like they're pushing Gaia to flipping. Meeting Coleman. Oh. I don't feel like he opened the garage door. Is he gonna drive past them? That'd be ironic. Not happening apparently. Whose house is this? Oh, this woman. It's Fury's safe house. So that plane take him wherever he wanted to go? 'Cause he's not in America. Where is he?
Aren't you forgetting something?
Yo, this Fury's lady? Yo, Fury's married? Yo.
Better?
Almost.
Oh my. Can't say I saw that coming. To a Skrull. Man, why? I don't like that they special guest star Kobe Smulders. Like, we didn't get anything new with her. That was I wasn't ready for that ending. I love this show so much. It is really, really good. Like the strength of all of the dialogue. I mean, very much like Loki, right? Like the reason I love Loki so much is it is just a dialogue-driven show. It's a narrative-driven show, and like just consuming that is so satisfying when every conversation feels like there's something on the line. You're talking about bigger subject matter. I mean, that conversation between Rhodes and Fury, you know, and just like the black struggle in general, you know, how black men function and you know, positions of power and what it's like, all of that stuff layered on top of exactly what the show is like. You layer all of that into a conversation that serves an extreme purpose for the show. Like, it's just, whew, man, they are like this is, if I'm Kevin Feige, you need this level of writing in everything that Marvel's doing. Like I is just so. I mean, there's that one, the Talos and Fury conversation, like one of those where you can totally understand where Talos is coming from, right? Like 20 years, promises unfulfilled, everything that's going on. He's lost his wife. His daughter is on the wrong side of the line. Like, there's so much at stake. Like, every reason that he's angry in that scenario, you understand, and like Fury, to a degree, you can understand, but it's also at the same point, like Rhodey said, I'm like the only friend you got, Nick. Like, you out of friends, and Talos was one of those people, and he just pushed him right out because what Fury wants to. I mean, Fury's rightfully upset. 1 million Skrull on the Earth. Like, yeah, like, think about that. If you had 1 million Skrull infiltrating, like, the whole freaking like, that's. So you understand where but he has it, like, no right to, right? Like, that's the brilliance in the piece that Talos gives you first. Like, doesn't really give Fury much of a leg to stand on. You know, he kind of seems like a kid throwing a tantrum. Like, I'm right just because I'm right. Like, because whatever you did, that's worse than what I did. And it works so well. And again, it puts Talos in such an interesting place where, like, you could almost see him flipping, if not for the fact that Gravik is supposedly responsible for his wife's death. So, like, that kind of puts him on this island by himself. Fury's on an island by himself, although apparently not by himself, you know, which I did not see coming, man. Like, Fury having a wife, I didn't see that kind of Skrull wife, no less. Like, that was a nice little twist surprise I wasn't quite ready for. And again, but like, even still, like, I mean, he's basically on this island solo right now. Like, he's got nobody. And it's gonna be fascinating to see where he goes or what his move is, right? Like, he figures, let me go get Rhodes involved. We're gonna be able, you know, the Skrull are coming, man. Rhodes is my guy. Like, and it's the opposite, because Fury doing stuff without talking to people, leading to not just Maria Hill being dead, who, that's my favorite twist in that conversation, is like, you start to see like what Rhodes is doing, and the reason he's going there is because, you know, not that Fury's there and it can put, you know, gives everything that he sets up, right? Like, the reason Rhodes is there and the reason that he's not gonna, you know, help a brother out is because Fury's the reason Maria Hill's dead, and Maria Hill, you know, would have probably been working very close with Rhodes when Fury was MIA. And Rhodes knows that she's one of the best of all of them. So I love that it's, I think, the personal motivation on top of the political motivation that gets Rhodes to commit to the thing that he does. And I just, every piece of dialogue and conversation in the show is just so tight, it's so good, and it's just setting everything up so well. And then you see genetic mutations and things coming that makes me think Super Skrull, which traditionally he is a villain to the Fantastic Four because he's imbued with all of their powers. Doric, basically, because the original invasion is thwarted by the Fantastic Four, says, I'll create this Super Skrull to go back to Earth and take the Fantastic Four out to pave the way for an invasion of Earth. Now, we don't have the Fantastic Four currently in the MCU, so whatever genetic enhancements that they would be looking to give to create a Super Skrull, I would assume it won't be Fantastic Four powers, although it could be Fantastic Four. Like, could this be the beginning of our ways into the Fantastic Four, or is Gravik up to something completely different? My thought would be is that they're looking to make a Super Skrull, and maybe they just give him powers that are not the Fantastic Four's powers. But it would also be, I mean, like, it's one of those, it makes me wonder, like, if there's any direct tease. You know, we're starting to get into the castings, getting close to that. You know, money seems to be an issue in certain places, but like, we know the Fantastic Four are coming. It'd be an interesting way to start that ball if you started kind of backwards with the Super Skrull and moved forward. My like, the general thought is, like, if the Fantastic Four are gonna come into play, they exist already, right? Like the Baxter Building was being built in Spider-Man Far From Home, so you'd have to assume that they already exist, but how? Like that's the thing I'll be most interested in. I'm getting so off the show, but like I'll be fascinated to see how they bring the Fantastic Four in, and if there is like if they're gonna just weave history in, or like it's one of the things with like an interconnected universe we've never seen the Fantastic Four. It'd be hard to go that route, but it doesn't mean that Gravik couldn't be creating a genetically enhanced version of a Skrull to be Super Skrull. Such a key character, it would make sense to bring them in. It's just weird to not have the Fantastic Four attached. Nevertheless, seeing genetic technology, whatever that Chrono Bowl thing, I don't know why I said Chrono Bowl, that's a Flash term, but whatever that white ball of energy and light was, like it when they turned it on, it didn't seem like there was anything in there. So I hope this isn't like a trans-dimensional portal type thing on top of genetic research, or was there a subject in there that that's doing the transfer? I don't know. I'm fascinated to see where they go with that, and if it is Super Skrull related, or if it's just like we're gonna have an enhanced version, like army of Skrulls. Either way, Gravik is like that first episode. So it was so driven like single-mindedly for him that like the cause is the people, and it gives a redeeming quality to a villain. Where it's like, I understand where he's coming from. Like, I get what's going on. And this episode certainly reaffirms that. But now, I like that episode 2. It's like, wow, you can relate to this guy. And maybe he's not, like, looking to, be worshipped as a god so much as, like, just trying to take over the planet. But now you're seeing the evil layers that are underneath all of that, when put in a single-minded focus the way that he has it, is quite terrifying. And you see the terrifying nature of Gravik in when he's having conversations with people, the kind of hold that he has on people, how deep his hooks are, right? Like it seemed like the dude that was kidnapped was friends with the guy that killed him. So to have, Gravik be able to pull a move like that, like, yeah, here you go, here's the gun, you go take care of your buddy. Like, that is a layer of just like, damn, man, the hold is there. And then to see the physical action behind what he can do, like, that's not a dude you want to mess around with. And I'll be fascinated to see if the next episode dives more into the Gravik and Fury relationship in the training and all of that, right? Like, it's basically like Fury created his own worst nightmare in some way, and a very Tony Stark kind of thing to do. And it'll be interesting to see if the show kind of brings that around by having the past follow, like, kind of trail the future and get caught up to where we are in the present. But that's a relationship I'm very, very interested in for the next 4 episodes. And then Olivia Colman. I mean, that woman, every time she is on screen, she is absolute gold. And just the nonchalantness of how she goes about things, right? Like, there's a nonchalantness to Kingsley Ben-Adir's performance that's terrifying. And there's the same kind of nonchalantness to Olivia Colman's character that is way more fun because she has so much personality, but is also just as terrifying, right? Like, once that Skrull is I'm gonna break these chains, I'm gonna break every bone in your body, and she's like, ha 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 ha, funny. Clip, there goes the finger. Ah, cool, that's confirmed. Now we know what's what. You're gonna tell me all the info I need, or I'm gonna make you literally cook from the inside out. And again, the commitment to Gravik, how deep he's got his hooks in those people. Do your worst, fire me up, so to speak. And homie lasts a pretty long time, but when a second needle is being threatened, I can't imagine, like, your blood literally boiling inside of you. And that makes me wonder if that's like is that where the Extremis project ended up, right? Like, he took that technology and worked it into something that could do that, because there seems to me there's a similar vibe there. I don't know if the show will confirm it or if it's just, one of those like nods where, like, when you're watching all these things all the time, you make, left there for fans to make their own connections, or if it's just completely some other substance. Either way, Olivia Colman freaking badass, and I love like how she's like, "Where's your escape hatch?" Like I have a hunch, and it takes you a minute, but then all of a sudden when you realize, oh, Gravik and them, that's where they're going. Okay, cool. Get my info, kick you over, dive into the hole, we out. And it's interesting, like, that they didn't really care to pursue whoever went out the escape hatch. But I guess at the same time, you wouldn't have known. But you would have thought you would have checked it out. And the other thing, I want to know who Gaia was talking to in Russian. Because I thought when Gaia said she was going to go check around back, that was just naturally going to be, like, some sort of exchanging of information with Olivia Colman. Because it seemed right, but then instead she's talking to somebody in Russian, and then those files, like, what were those files? Or wait, yes. So no, okay, hold on. It took me a second, because when they were showing, I didn't put it together, but now I'm talking about it out loud. I think I just put it together. So it's gonna be Super Skrull, but it's not gonna be the Fantastic Four. It's gonna be the characters that we saw on that computer screen. Like, that's what it is. That's what it is. So you're not gonna get a Fantastic Four driven Super Skrull. But depending on where you take this story, you could see very much how, like, you could get to a Super Skrull that has the Fantastic Four abilities once the Fantastic Four are introduced. But we're gonna get a Super Skrull. I can't believe I didn't put that together when when she was looking at that computer screen toward, I guess that was the end of the episode. So yeah, I was wondering, like, when it was on the screen, I was like, what are they getting at here? But I think, yeah. So the Rosa Dalton, so that's the geneticist, and then yeah. So you've got a Groot. So a Groot sample, Flora Colossus. You've got Frost Beast. So that's I think that's one of the one of the Frost Giants creatures. Then you've got Cull Obsidian. There is Extremis Project stuff going on. So yeah, so you've got Extremis. So even if Olivia Colman's serum isn't necessarily derived from Extremis, Extremis is in play. So instead of the Fantastic Four powers of heat, invisibility, you're gonna have, instead of stretchiness, you're gonna have Groot capabilities. So like the Flora Colossus, you can grow the arms. Frost Beast will kind of, I don't know, like, Cull Obsidian basically would give you the super strength, I would think, from that you would think, like, for the Thing. I guess you're not gonna give him visibility, so maybe whatever the Frost Beast gets kind of replaces something for Sue Storm, and then Extremis gives you the fire. So you can literally get Super Skrull, have Super Skrull be kind of accurate to what the superpower set is, and you're gonna use these four characters instead. I'm like, I swear, man, sometimes when I watch things, I'm like just so like in the show that my brain's not piecing together, like, oh duh, Dalton was the woman that we saw. Like, that was the thing I didn't really even piece together, Dalton physically being like the first thing that she looked at, because I didn't know what we were looking at. And you didn't know that or I guess, yeah, no, you did know that her name was Dalton, because that was the thing. The Daltons are the ones that are working. But anyway, like, I should have put that together just in the moment. Like, yeah, Super Skrull. As soon as I see that, there's your Super Skrull stuff. That's freaking gonna be so dope. Oh man, that's like, this is the type of shit that makes me go, Marvel's on their A game. Like, the adaptation stuff is unbelievable here. Like, I can't believe that. That's, oh man. Now I'm excited. I feel like that's a good place to end. I've been talking for a while. This episode really slapped, and I think we're gonna get Super Skrull next episode. and that's gonna be friggin' kind of exciting, really, really cool. So yeah, I think overall, I think this episode just, well, let's get the Sea Maniacs up, right? We're gonna give this episode a score. Overall, I think this episode just slaps across the board very much the way the first one did, and now it's just like, if the first episode set up a bunch of things that you could knock out in that episode and laid the foundation, this has now gotten you that next level, and same thing. Set up a bunch of things for this episode that you're able to address, but now you've also got the seeds that are laying into where we're going to go forward. That's tied, again, to the main bit. Like, we're not adding things that, like, oh man, I don't feel like we're going to have 10 million things to answer by the end of the series. It seems like they're kind of setting things up, knocking them off, and moving, which is really, really nice. You kind of close out everything you have to close out from the bombing, set up where you're going to go next with that, right? Like, now Fury's on his own, all of those things, and you're teeing up, like, Super Skrull. I'm fascinated to see Nick's relationship with his Skrull wife, and where that goes for him as far as, like, what's he do? He's got nowhere to go. But, like, it sets all of that stuff up really, really well, and like I said, it doesn't feel like you're going to carry too much from this episode over to the next one to have to address directly. But the ones that you're teasing for next episode, I think, are a lot of fun. The dialogue, it just continues to be absolutely phenomenal. Kyle, I can't get Kyle Bradstreet, who's our creator here, him in his writer's room, they understand the material so well. And then the way that, like, again, when Marvel is on their A game, the way they're able to weave, your story adaptation into real-world conversations and scenarios and things that can then directly apply to the characters, much like the Rhodes and Fury conversation, like, that stuff is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, every bit of dialogue, and then when we get a little bit of action, I mean, you do some cool stuff really quick in that little deli market meat shop. You make Gravik terrifying on multiple levels in this episode, which I really like. Kingsley Ben-Adir is doing some things, man. That was the other one that we didn't talk about, like the way he comes in and just takes the council over. Getting to see Rhodey in his daily life, and again, that conversation with Nick was just unbelievable. Where Talos and Fury are right now, and where, like I said, I feel like Gaia's going to be the one to flip, but Talos also doesn't seem to be Team Fury, so I'm fascinated to see where you go, and like I said, the things that are set up to carry forward, I think make a lot of sense for our individual characters, and then overall, like, I just think everything that you're looking for in this show is just being encapsulated in these, and this is starting to feel Olivia Colman. You can't forget Olivia Colman. You give that woman one scene an episode, and she just knocks it right out of the ballpark. She's so good, and I can't wait to see where you go next with these characters. But I think this episode is a wonderful continuation from the next one. I think it tees up a lot of fun things for these last 4 episodes to kind of run through. And hopefully it continues to do what it's doing, right? Where it's like, I feel like we built up a few more things to address in the coming episodes than we did in the first, which is fine, because the first, you just want to build that foundation. But here, I just hope that, like, when we get to the next one, we're knocking some of those things off the board so it doesn't feel like we're starting to pile up, which I don't think is going to happen, because it really does feel like the writing is just here. And then passing off from Bradstreet to Ali Salim, I really love how engaging he's making the show be, right? Like, the way that he's getting the best out of all of his actors. I mean, even down to Emilia Clarke, who has a smaller role in this episode than the last one. Just the way she's looking, the way that she's observing things is feeding a lot of information to the audience. So getting that out of your actors, and again, where you're just putting yourselves in the room. Yeah, the writing is really good, but, a stagnant camera is not going to do anything. I think Salim is finding ways to make this dialogue super engaging with what you're putting on screen. And I mean, whether it's the score or the pacing, like, everything here is mostly flawless at this point for me. But it does feel very much like a show that's just going to get better and better and better every episode. So I'm going to reserve my 5 for an episode where they're able to get, like, big time things going on and the type of story narrative driving that they're doing. But this is definitely a 4.5 out of 5 for me. I think this was a lot better than the first episode, and I think the conversations and the dialogue are even sharper, and just what you're building, and as this story is starting to expand, how they're adapting it is just, man, it's makes me very, very happy. So I'm gonna shut up. Y'all have spent so much time with me. I appreciate that. So now I want to know what you guys are thinking, man. How in are you on Secret Invasion? After week 1, didn't really feel like there was a lot of pop to this show. Didn't feel like it was really catching on, which sucks because I feel like all of the conversation after the show last week online was about the opening. And while I'd love to know your thoughts on that and the use of AI there, again, I don't really like that it's there, and it's a negative distraction now from a show that I think is really, really good. So if you are watching it, how engaged are you? If you were watching it and then found out to say, like, are you going to boycott this show? Or are you not going to watch it? I mean, I suppose if you're here at this point, you have watched it. So, like, what are you guys thinking? How much are you enjoying it? Is it the type of stuff that we want from the MCU, and is it something that you think the conversation can start building once we get kind of past that week 1? Could you see a stronger engagement? But what things are working for you in the show? What things aren't? Anything you got really good, bad, indifferent on Secret Invasion Episode 2 Promises? I want it down below in the comments section. I look forward to talking to you guys down there. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you're new, you want to come hang out with C-Man anytime we're talking movies, TV, trailer reactions, you want to be here for my week-by-week reactions. You want to see what we got. We got Indiana Jones this week, and then before we know it, we're going to Mission Impossible. Oppenheimer and Barbie are all going to be knocking on our doors. So you want to be here for any of that coverage. You just want to see the things that I'm watching. You dig the vibe. You want to show a little love and support. Come join C-Maniac Nation. It'll do all those things. You just got to jump over there, hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell if you want those alerts. And until next time, for the C-Man's Cinema Sit Down. I've been the C-Man. I'm signing off. Peace! Oh, you guys are still here. You snuck up on me. You must be looking for more of this guy. Well, I got 2 video options for you, man. Right up here and right over here. And if you want all those C-Man goodies, well, hey, come join the squad right on over there, and I'll catch you on the next one.